This is The Guide Gals, a modern, wedding-focused podcast by the experts at Here Comes the Guide. I'm Chelsea, a designer and inspired creative who's probably racked up over 10,000 hours on Pinterest and the friend who's going to shoot it to you straight.
And I'm Caroline, a social media manager who's obsessed with dogs as ring bearers and will inevitably cry over your wedding video. We've seen it from all sides. We've been brides, planners, bridesmaids, and have worked with standout brands throughout the industry.
Think of us as an extension of your wedding party and hang out with us as we share the ins, outs, ups, and downs of the road to I do.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Guide Gals podcast, where we dive into various wedding topics, trends, and advice. Today's episode is one we've been talking about doing for a long time.
I'm super excited. In this episode, we're diving into celebrity weddings. We love celebrity weddings. We see probably everyone comes across our desk. And by our desk, I mean our social media feeds, because our cookies are like really formulated to be all about weddings.
Yes.
But we're going to go through their venue, the trends that they touched on or created really, in photography. And we're going to let you know what we think about all of it.
So if you don't know already, we do have a YouTube channel where you can watch all of our episodes. And since this is going to be kind of an image-heavy episode, definitely go check it out over there so you can see all of the things that we're referring to.
We're also going to link the sites that we're checking out in our show notes. So you'll want to take a look at those too if you do want to do a deeper dive on any of the weddings that we go over in this episode.
But before we jump into all of the fun celebrity wedding things, of course, we're going to talk about beverages.
What are you drinking today, Caroline?
Okay, so I have a chocolate coconut little cold brew in my fun cup. So again, if you aren't watching it, you should look on our YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, it's on the Here Comes the Guide YouTube channel. The Guide Gals is hosted there. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Okay, it is a chocolate coconut cold brew. I have been using a cold brew concentrate. It's from the brand Monin, Monin. And that's the same cold brew concentrate that they use at First Watch, which is like a brunch lunch place. I get the unsweetened version, and it's all I've been drinking this summer so far because it is so easy and it's so good. But I specifically get the unsweetened version because I think the sweetened version has quite a bit of sugar in it. So I just add my own things afterwards to, I don't know. It still has sugar in it. Let's be honest. I love sugary drinks, but just less. But yeah, if you want to try the Monin coffee concentrates, I would recommend. I think they're really good.
Yeah, I need to try that. Caroline told me about First Watch. I had never heard of it because maybe I live under a rock. But I did try their iced coffee recently, and it's good. So thumbs up for me.
We love. What do you have?
I have, mine is like getting pretty watered down at this point, but I recently rediscovered my Nespresso that I've had for a long time. I don't know. It's really, really hot here. You wouldn't be able to tell because I'm wearing a sweatshirt, but I am inside in the air conditioning. But I went for an iced latte, I guess. And I put this stuff in there, this creamer.
Is it the one you were telling me about?
Yeah. It's the cookie one.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Oatmeal cookie.
I'm sad about it.
It's really, really good. All right, so here is how we're going to structure this episode. So Caroline has gone through and pulled some galleries from some recent celebrity weddings over the past year or two, I believe. She picked out those ones. We're going to talk about those elements that I mentioned, but this is going to be my first time seeing these. Maybe not really my first time because I probably have seen these weddings on social media and stuff.
Totally.
But I'm not exactly sure which wedding she pulled. So I'm excited to see that. You'll see my live reaction.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this for so many reasons. There is a lot of variety in this. Some of them are so iconic. So we will say them, we could say some of the names. You could imagine exactly what we're talking about. But there are also so many of these that I didn't feel like I knew about soon enough. I wish I would have known about sooner. They are so cool and they deserve to be talked about in this episode. So I'm excited to dive into all of these. We are going to start with Anna Sophia Robb, and they got married September 10th of 2022 in the Catskill Mountains area. Had a whole weekend, 3-day celebration type of thing. So it was really a big occasion. But I think the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about with this wedding is the dress. It is incredible. Also, the venue is incredible too. I think really both the attire and the venue really match each other really well. But she has this I don't even know, do we call it a scarf? What do we call it?
I don't know if I would call it a scarf, but it's I wouldn't call it a shawl either. Like,
I know.
I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love the dress. I love the details, and I feel like it's very her, and everything about it is just, it's like simple, like elegant, classic beauty. And I think that probably describes Anna Sophia Robb as well.
Yeah.
I mean, of course she probably is wearing makeup, but she just has a very natural look, and just her hair is very like plain, but I don't mean plain like positive connotation of that. I love it.
Love it.
The
And I
simplicity
really
is
do
just-
think she has started, of course, I'm sure this, like, I don't know what to call it, shawl, scarf, whatever this piece is around her neck. I've seen so many other people start to do it since this wedding. I really feel like I've seen a more of an occurrence of it, and for good reason. It adds something to the décolletage area, that like neck area that like really frames it so beautifully, but it adds this kind of fun whimsy of a veil, and she still has a veil on too. So I don't know. I feel like it feels very princessy and is so incredibly unique. So I'm loving the trend that really kind of started to here.
Yeah, I do love how it just like flows into the veil. Like that's how it feels to me. It is like that similar fabric. And this is an autumn like wedding, like a fall time.
Yeah, September.
Correct? Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah, the colors and the florals are just so beautiful with that, and she has like that dried pampas grass question mark. You'd know better than me. You're the floral expert.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. I am a huge fan of this wedding, and once again, I think what I love so much about it is it just like feels so genuine and true to her. I don't know about him. I don't even know who her spouse
I'm not
is.
sure.
To be
I
to be
don't
honest with you, I don't know him. But that's all right. I think it feels very her. It's probably very them. I'm
Yes.
scrolling through these images here, and I see like she did have a dress change as well into a shorter dress for reception.
I love the shoes that she's wearing for that
The
one
shoes
too.
are
Yeah.
really cute. I will say I love her other dress much more.
Yeah.
This is great. It's not quite as breathtaking to me as the other one. In the Vogue article, it does show her rehearsal dinner dress as well, which I really love. If I had to rank the three dresses, which no one asked me to, but if I must, I would say my number one is her ceremony dress. Number two is that rehearsal dinner dress. And then three,
For sure.
the reception dress.
I really love a lot about this. I think it is done in such a way that is very authentic and all very cohesive, but I do think the show-stopping moment is the dress.
And it looks like she walked down the aisle to Fleetwood Mac. So,
Oh, love.
love that. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
she's so cool. Yeah, and
It
the
is-
bridesmaids in black, which
Yeah.
is not what I would guess, like based on the general aesthetic of the whole wedding, but yeah, it's she's doing it right, whatever she did here.
Yep. No, it's very cool. All right, let's talk about a classic. And immediately everyone's going to be able to imagine, like, think back to this was a TikTok rage type of wedding. Like, I could not get it off my feed and I wasn't mad about it. So let's talk about Sophia Richie. This wedding took place in April 2023 in France. And if you haven't seen this wedding, you have been living under a rock. I don't know. This wedding obviously is so incredibly gorgeous and stunning for a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
but I think this full gallery to me really helped me see more of it. Not that I already hadn't seen so much of it on the internet, but I think they did so many things right
Uh-huh.
with this. It is such a different vibe from Anna Sophia Robb's,
Entirely.
but man,
Entirely different.
This set the tone, I think, for a lot of weddings last year, and specifically too for this year. I think you'll
Yeah.
see a lot more weddings that are going to give this vibe.
This
Maybe
was a
not everyone-
trendsetter. Absolutely. Like this
Oh.
she set some trends with this.
Oh yeah, and I don't think like everyone's gonna get married in the same place. You may not have the same budget, but I think so many people are taking bits and pieces from this wedding and trying to apply it to their own.
Yeah, I love it, and I love it. It's so elegant. It's so like princess, and just like it's so beautiful. And this, I would say, like my personal feel, like this isn't something I would necessarily gravitate towards if I were planning my own wedding, but
Yeah.
like holy cow, like once again, like
Yeah.
I there's nothing I can really disagree with here. I am scrolling through this article, and one thing that I haven't seen, I don't think, is this dress here. What is this dress? This
Oh, at the beginning?
yeah, this is this like a brunch dress, or is this a rehearsal dinner?
Dude, I don't know, but I really like it.
It's
That's what I was
gorgeous.
thinking too. It's so
It's
gorgeous.
so unique. It looks like vintage. I don't know if it is. I'm not actually reading the words
Um,
here as I could. Oh, it's a 1997 Chanel, of course. I should have known. I should have known.
wow.
But yeah, I mean, so beautiful. Every single detail is just so elegant. Yeah, and like Caroline said, there are a lot of we probably don't have the same budget that Sophia Richie does. If you do, send us the photos from your wedding and feel free to invite us if
Yeah.
you'd like.
Uh-huh.
But there are a lot of ways that you can emulate the same feelings as a lot of these celebrity weddings without going to, and having your wedding at the exact venue that they did, or like wearing the exact same Chanel 1997 dress for your arrival
Yeah.
at the location. You don't have to do all of
Yeah.
that in order to have this same vibe. Are her bridesmaids in black as well?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I bet we'll see a lot more of that moving
I do think
forward.
that's like I feel like that is something that is happening is like very sleek, very elegant. And even I think a lot of the associated flowers, like the things that you're not holding, are getting more and more elaborate. And the things that you are holding are getting, I think, a little bit more simple, which I think adds to this level of like sleek elegance. And so
Yeah.
her bouquet is so tiny. But even I think in a lot of their bridesmaid pictures, they're not even holding flowers. They're
Yeah.
just hanging out and standing there, which I think is so interesting. But like, obviously, she has a lot of florals going on in her wedding. They were probably thousands and thousands of dollars. But it's a very simple color palette too, which goes really
Yeah.
elegantly with just the plain black. Like, it doesn't feel like too much is going on.
But it is interesting because the trend that we have been seeing is like a lot of color and like more whimsy in terms of like the bridal party, and like a lot more freedom there. So
Totally.
to see like these first two weddings that we're discussing have black bridesmaids dresses and have that sleek
Yeah.
is interesting, because I feel like in the wedding world we were in like a minimalist place for a long time, and I feel like we're kind of leaving that and going towards that more maximalism area. But
I feel like this
I
is a
don't know,
good
it's
blend of
interesting.
both. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In the next wedding, Sophia Bush, which I think this is probably one of the ones I'm the most excited about because I have not looked into it that much before this episode. So, Sophia Bush got married June 11th, 2022 at the Philbrook Museum of Art in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This whole wedding is so interesting to me. Like, the first thing that I want to talk about with this wedding is, I'm assuming it's the rehearsal dinner, whatever kind of welcome party
Oh, it's
that
so
they do.
cool.
It is so cool. It is giving Western chic.
Yeah.
I at first when I was scrolling through this thought that might have been their wedding, but it wasn't.
Even this opening image, which I'm sure, Caroline, you can show on the screen better than I am,
Yeah.
of their guests mingling, you can see that like they're all on theme. I love that so much when like you can get, and of course like these are very like upscale like events, you know,
Right.
very curated guest lists, I'm sure. But I just love when you can get your guests to follow the theme as well. It just makes it
Yeah.
so cool. It like makes it like the experience so fun. I love that.
Yeah. So the dress code for this event was elevated cowboy, which I
Love.
think is so fun.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because it is so dressy, but her dress for this is everything to me. I love it. The belt with it, the hat with it, seeing everybody, yes, like stay with that elevated cowboy theme. It just makes for such a great time. And there is this one photo of like everybody inside and it's giving like sunset light type of tones. I don't know what it is about this picture, but I'm obsessed with it because it is just giving like such intimate, fun vibes of like they're all hanging out. And
Yeah.
so I also like props to this photographer for capturing these moments so beautifully. It feels like I'm there with them and I'm
Yeah.
loving every moment of it.
Yeah, and to go back to the dress, I
Oh, no, yeah.
love the modesty of it. This rehearsal dinner dress, I mean. For some reason, that just, it makes it feel so like regal or something. Like it's so, like I love how she is just like almost entirely covered. I just
Yeah.
love that. It's
Yep.
very cool.
We've talked about the wedding attire before. I think you should have so much fun with it. We've said that before too. We know it's expensive. You'll notice a common theme throughout all of these weddings that we talk about. We talk a lot about the location, the trends. We will talk a lot about the attire because there is something so cool about getting the right attire for your event that will be so like, it'll stick in your head. It's so iconic. And so that is one thing that I think I take away from a lot of these weddings, because even as you get to that was just like the rehearsal dinner, like welcome party, whatever. Then you get to the wedding and the dress, the attire is still unreal, amazing, insane.
Like the theme seems like it has switched. I believe that like, so this was at an art gallery, correct? And I have to assume that her rehearsal dinner was somewhere else.
Yes, yeah.
I love this. I really do love when someone has like their wedding weekend events, like rehearsal dinner, actual wedding, and everything. I love when it does follow the same theme. I feel like most people do end up doing that if they have like more of a theme to their wedding. So I do love when it tells a story throughout the whole thing. But I have nothing negative to say about how, like the like almost like, I wouldn't say it's super stark differences, because you do still see, it feels Oklahoma to me in like her bridal party that you see here especially, but yeah, it's a lot fancier. So
it is, yeah, it goes from this like elevated cowboy to this more like chic fairy tale,
like southern
this
princess
floral,
like,
yes, this floral dress is my everything. The way it moves, the way the photographer captures it, the way they paired the bridal party colors along with the dress, I think is so good as well.
Yeah.
And there's this one photo, it's a black and white photo inside where she's looking back over her dress, and the movement of this photo is my favorite. I love it. The other thing that I think is super cool that I think you can take home from this wedding is the pathway into their tent for the reception. There is just a bunch of potted plants, and I think this is so cool because you can buy them for the wedding, take them back home afterwards, and then you have an insane garden landscape. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like I love that because I think it's a practical one. I mean, yeah, take them home, practical. But then your whole home has this like beautiful feel. Then it's from your wedding. If you can keep them alive for a long time, how cute the like symbolism of that. But it also is this perfect, not over the top, but still brings in some decor into the reception.
I could even see that being, if you had a smaller guest list, being a really cool favor. Like pick one and take it with you, although they're kind of huge. Like, I don't know, like logistically, I don't know. But like if you're, I don't know, not at a destination maybe, that would be so cool. But yeah, if you had like a pretty big guest list, that'd be a very large expense.
Now, we can move on to Ariana Grande, but we're going to like kind of breeze through this because you've probably seen it. Also, they're divorced. It's like, I don't know. But I thought this is a good one to like talk through because it is at their home, or at her home, I believe, which I think is really neat. But I do think these photos and the makeup and the attire from her wedding was iconic, and it's something that I think will still have a big impact. So Chelsea has mentioned this on an episode before, the bow on her veil.
I think this started the bow trend, or at least it was a big part of it. I was obsessed with this. This was back in 2021, this wedding, obsessed. And if I remember correctly, I think that she kind of just was like, I got married, by the way. Like, wasn't it like very casual? Maybe,
it was like,
maybe I'm remembering that like wrong, but
no, I think this like broke the internet for so many reasons. Yeah. And it was because it was like casual, but so elevated, so sophisticated.
So beautiful.
I mean, she really like is glowing in all of these pictures.
She's a little doll.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad that it didn't work out. I love the dog in the pictures too. I think it's really sweet.
Gorgeous. It's very, I feel like it's very Ariana Grande. It like, I love how she seems to do this, like to pair something that's like gives like the youthful innocence, the bow with like even the shortened veil just looks like very innocent, youthful almost, but then her dress almost has a lingerie vibe. Like, so like she
Yeah.
does kind of like pair those things together, but that's very
For sure.
her, I would say. I feel like this doesn't veer far, although it is like a very stripped down version.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Like it's just like that, you know, beautiful simplicity, but it does still feel very true to Ariana Grande.
Let's go over to Nicola Peltz. This is one that I also really loved, and like
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a ton from this one before. I think I do remember seeing it like come across social media. First and foremost, the rehearsal dinner suits that they have,
So
they're
cool.
Dior. So cool. And I don't know a ton about the couple. Actually, you should probably know this about me. I don't know celebrities that much. I don't really keep up with it, but I will keep up with their weddings and I keep up with their fashion. Do I know anything about the people? Probably not. So there's that. But I thought that was so cool. And then also, one thing that I want to talk about for his attire, he has like the tail. Is that what it's called on the tux? Like the longer in the back.
Coattails?
Is that called tail? Coattails? Yeah. And I don't know what it is about that. I'm loving it. Maybe because I'm a hoe for things like Bridgerton and
Yeah.
just like Regency style things. So that for me is like scratching that itch. But also her veil and her gloves specifically.
Oh, the veil is so beautiful. Yeah, the detail in there, I love how classic it feels. Yeah, and it is so different. Her ceremony look is so different from her reception look, and also, of course,
Yes.
so different from her rehearsal dinner look. This is
Yes.
just so cool, girl. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's very different, I would say, from all of the weddings that we've touched on so far, where a lot of those have some sort of natural element. Even Ariana Grande's, I feel like hers being in like her home, and she had like lots of like the casual natural florals like across her tables
Yes.
and all of that. This is very like glitzy, high end.
Yes. Yes. Luxe.
I don't
yeah.
even think that they're out. Wait, is their ceremony outdoors? Let me go back to it.
No, I think they're all inside.
It's inside too. Yeah. It's inside. Those florals kind of confuse me. But yeah, they are looking at the ocean. I'm not even going to count that as a natural element. It could be a
No,
screen.
you're
for
right.
all I care.
You're right, with like luxury glitz glammy, which is great. And I think all of these weddings are expensive in their own right, but the way you do it could feel very different. Probably Sophia Richie's wedding was more expensive, I would guess, just because of the location, the place, the outside, all of those things. But I don't know. I actually have no idea how expensive all of these were, but each of them feel very elevated in its own way.
Yeah, I love the like getaway car. It's like what I'm going to call it at the end. And it looks like this took place in Miami. It looks very Miami to me. Palm Beach. Okay, Palm Beach, which is
Took place in her father's $79 million estate.
Oh! So I guess that they
Okay.
saved on the venue, like the rental costs, probably.
Probably, but
But save is not actually a word I would really use. But yeah, very beautiful. And once again, like it's all about the venue for that. Like that, like very upscale background was brought to life by the florals that they had and in their like surroundings as well.
okay, we're gonna talk about Sarah Hyland, and her marriage to Wells.
Well, is that? Do you know who that is, Caroline?
Yes, he's on the Bachelor in Paradise. He's
Yeah.
the bartender, right?
Yeah.
But it always confuses me because I feel like his first name should be a last name, but his last name feels like a first name. Anyways, Wells Adams.
And I've never thought about it like that.
Sarah Hyland, though, has been someone I've loved since day one. So she's my girl. And I love, so many parts of this. She has, an insane amount of dresses that go into this rehearsal, to the ceremony, everything. But I think one thing that I really love is their venue choice. Stunning, amazing. It just looks so cool. And it was able to be used for so many purposes. But also, their florals are something that I think they did really well. Their whole ceremony, there's florals going up the tree. There are florals going down the aisle. Huge roses in all different colors. Yeah. But it adds something for me that I don't know. I just love. Like, they're already out in nature, but it just feels like it's overflowing with this like fun, feminine, floral vibe.
It's so beautiful. Those lanterns and everything, like as part of it
Oh
as well,
yeah.
it's just so cool. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know too much about Sarah Hyland, but what I do know about her is that she seems like a girly girl, like, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that her bridesmaids are wearing pink, and I love that she has all of
Mm-hmm.
these florals, all of these like costume changes, uh, and
Yes.
everything really is like so feminine. Even the images in this article of her getting ready um, are
Yeah.
just like just have that like girly, like she cares about all of like the pretty things, and I love that. And oh my gosh, I wish that I knew his name. It probably says it in this article, but the guy from Modern Family that like plays her
Oh, yep.
uncle like married them. That's so
Yeah.
funny. I love
They have a
that.
whole picture of the Modern family closer to the end of the
Oh
article.
really? I need to keep scrolling. I got like
Yeah,
lost in the
it's really
ceremony.
sweet.
Yeah, it's
People at the
very
wedding.
like funny that these two, because him being so connected to the Bachelorette universe, and her, I know she was the host of
Yeah.
Love Island for a little bit. It's just like kind of
Hmm.
funny that they like found each other, I guess. Oh, I
Oh
found the
yeah.
Modern Family photo. Um,
It's so
I
cute.
love it. It is so cute.
Okay, another person who has been, this is actually probably my true day one, Dylan Sprouse.
And
This
Barbara
wedding
Palvin.
is, oh my gosh, this wedding is, I have to say that the reason though I picked this one is the photography is absolutely unreal. I actually was a Cole Sprouse lover, back in the day. Everyone picked one or the other. Dylan, love the sense of humor. Cole, I don't know why I was like, that was, I don't
That's
know.
very you.
Were you a Cole or a Dylan?
I've got to say neither. I don't think I was resonating with either of them. Not trying to
No,
not play
that's
the
fine. You
game,
just
but
no, you
it wasn't for
you just
me.
didn't experience the Sprouse twins culture. That was like it had chokehold on so many. You escaped it
I
somehow.
mean, I think I was part of the culture. I think I just wasn't.
No, it didn't have the chokehold on you. You
Okay,
can't say you're part of it. I'm sorry.
that's fine.
I think really the photography is good throughout, but where I really start to like love it is a little bit further into the gallery. So one of them, number 28 of 58. I don't know if that's helpful.
It is.
Um,
Yep.
oh
Uh huh.
my gosh.
Yep.
They are stunning.
Yep.
But also, there is a close up of her 131, the flash or whatever is going, or the sun, whatever is going on.
It's so
But she looks
pretty.
stunning.
Not to be, I don't know if this is a weird thing to say. To me, it doesn't seem weird. She has the most beautiful teeth. Like her teeth
Mm,
are just like give her like the cutest smile. I love it. And I
go to.
love like once again, it's like so simple.
Hmm.
Like she of course is wearing makeup, but it's like such a
Yeah.
natural, understated look. I love it so much. And her dress is so
Love, love,
beautiful.
love, love. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. If you go and look at this wedding, you should. One, you should. Just know you're going to want to kill the Coach pop up. It comes up so
Beware of the
often.
ads. And yeah, it won't stop popping up. I have scrolled further down, and her second dress, which is what? Is this her reception dress? Yes, it is. With the
With the
bow in
bow
her
in her
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. Oh, and she even changed to red at the very end of the night, it looks like. Oh, she says, I have to change my wedding dress at midnight because I'm not a bride anymore, but a wife. Okay. Very cool.
Girl, yeah.
I love it. And he has changed as well. He changed to a red suit at midnight as well, I assume. That's a cool detail. I feel like I haven't really seen that before, like
I've never seen that. Wow.
an after midnight dress. That's a cool detail. If you're someone who loves costume changes, I'm gonna keep calling them that, and like want more dresses, like there you go. You can have a wife
Mm-hmm.
dress that's not white.
Yes.
That's actually so fun. Wait,
I love
love.
that. I wonder if that will become a trend.
I would
But
like it
also,
to.
I don't think many people necessarily go past midnight. If it's your vibe, you should do that. Okay, let's talk about Simone Biles and her husband, who I don't care to know his name, and I'm really sorry if that makes me a bad person.
We
Uh,
can't think of Simone Biles and her husband without thinking of that one interview where,
you have to know what we're talking about, guys. You
yeah,
have
and
to.
that's, I think, as deep as we need to go into that, because that's not what this episode is about, of course. But Simone Biles is absolutely lovely. She's so cool. I mean, like she's got to be our age, right? I think she's like
Yeah, I think
probably
she's around our age.
yeah, I mean, so cool.
The
And
photos of her getting ready.
yeah, so much fun. Like at that wedding party, like they look like they're all actually like such good friends. Like they look they have the best
Yes.
time together.
And she is just stunning. Like, just so beautiful.
Of course. Yeah, and I love like so the vibe of this is like very glitzy. You still have those natural elements because they do have like they do actually get married outside in front of the sand, I will say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so upscale, like shiny, glittery, like that's how I see it. But yeah, it's I do love the pairing of that like super upscale glitzy vibe with the natural elements.
Yeah.
Even the groomsmen. Oh no, the groomsmen are in
groomsmen are-
green. I see, but he is in that
Yeah.
like natural tan, color, like that sandy color. So I love like bringing those two elements together. Very very
Yeah.
cool.
I also really am loving, again, we talked about this before, the flowers that they're holding are very simple.
Yeah.
But when you get to the ceremony, their arches are
So
amazing.
over the
I
top.
love the
Yeah.
trio that they do with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sweet. I kind of like that because you're going to have, I mean, that's framing you. It's so beautiful. But the flowers that they're holding are just a little bit more simple. And
Yeah,
I think that's really sweet.
And once again, like from the ceremony setup, like those huge floral arches with like the stage that they're getting married on, and then even the reception, which is like
Oh, yeah.
lightly tinted, I will say. Like
Yeah.
with all of those like really like just glitzy elements, it's almost like they're bringing those elements that are typically used inside, like in a classic ballroom feel, but they're bringing them outdoors. And I
Yeah.
just love that. Like it's not something that you see very often. Like I feel like if
Yes.
all of this stuff was used traditionally, I would say like inside, like in the classic ballroom, whatever, it would not be quite as exciting to me. I would feel like I've seen it 100
Agreed.
times before, but the fact that it's on the beach
Outside.
is so cool and very unique.
Okay, we're going to jump into the next one, and this is Beanie Feldstein and Bonnie Chance Roberts. And I really love this camp-themed wedding. It's a trend that we've seen, like, come up a lot, but it just is full of personality, I feel like, from, like, every angle.
Yeah, I'm like going through, and once again, I can't not talk about the attire, but as I'm scrolling through, this is a wedding that I'm not super familiar with. I didn't see a lot of it, I feel like, when it happened.
Yeah, me too.
But I love like very unique outfit choices throughout. And Beanie in this first dress that I'm seeing has this I guess it's a necklace, although I think it seems like it's part of the dress, but this like bow tie that's just made of like diamonds maybe and I love like it's a very feminine look, but I love that that's like almost like a masculine element that's pulled in. It's really cool. And then her second look is just
It almost reminds me of, like, a bolo tie, too.
Yes.
I don't know what it,
Yeah.
like, it almost also kind of gives Western. It's a very unique detail.
It is. It's really cool. It's not something that you would think would be paired with that type of dress normally because with like the long lace sleeves and even like the ruffly, or not ruffly, but like the poofy, almost poofy shoulders. That's like a little poof.
Yeah.
Very classic. And then her next look is just like the completely flower covered dress with like the matching headband. I love it so much. And then like the first look at Bonnie's, she has a suit on here and I love the detail, little stars throughout. I just love when you can take things that are, both of them so far have taken really classic pieces and customize them almost in a way that's super unique. It brings in a lot of like fun personality. I love that so much. Okay, and now I'm scrolling and I'm getting to the camp. I see like the little pins that they've created.
Yes.
So cool. Like the little braided the bracelets.
Yes, little friendship
So
bracelets and
cool.
things.
Yeah.
As you get further and further down, I love the picture of them with, like, from overhead, and they're like boats in the water. I just think also the thing that the photographer or the event maybe itself was focused on was the like togetherness. I love seeing all the photos of people being so happy, laughing,
Yeah.
just like having the time of their lives. And that's something that I think is so special to weddings. Like, obviously, you want to get that, but I think there are other weddings too that we've looked at so far that the photography has this element of still being very like buttoned up and put together. Like when I think of Nicola Peltz, that's who got married. No, wait, whatever one that was more luxe and glitz.
Yes.
Like they weren't as laughy. They were very poised, more editorial feeling. I feel like, I don't know. This is authentic. This is fun. This is familial. This is very different of a photography style, and I love it.
Yeah, and I don't know if I have a feeling they didn't give their guests a dress code theme to follow. Maybe they did. And if they did, that's amazing. But I feel like all of her guests are just so cool that they're wearing the coolest clothes. Like everyone has like this like funky, like eclectic. She has to have given them a dress code, actually, now that I think of it.
I feel like
but yeah, it's just like I love it so much. And now I'm seeing this photo of like their table, like the tablecloth, with like these little stitched details. So cute, so personal, like the personal touches. I love it so much. And then the cake even matches the one of the earlier dresses that she wore. Yeah. It's very, very cool. And I love that Bonnie's ends up wearing a pink suit for the ceremony and reception, it looks like. And I love that like just completely matches. It looks like the reception decor. So cool.
Oh my gosh, not Ben Platt singing live at their first dance. That is iconic. I wanted my father-daughter dance to be a Ben Platt song, and honestly, I almost chose my first dance song to be a Ben Platt song. I am a musical theater girl at heart, so now you know.
And so is Beanie.
That would have just, I don't know. I would have sobbed either being the bride or being there in attendance.
From what I saw, it looks like Beanie at the end of the night changed into a pink gown to match Bonnie, and I think that's very cool. That's all I had to say.
I like
Maybe that's her after midnight wife dress. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Taylors. Yeah. Taylor Lautner and Taylor Dome. Wow,
and
they just look
like 2022, I believe. So it's been a while.
The attire again. You're not gonna hear shut up about it. The bow in the back of her dress. And also the velvet that he has chosen.
The blue, which I assume is their rehearsal dinner look. And her getting ready pajama photo. They're so nice. No, I'm not even they look like. I know that these are like two genuinely kind
nice
people. Yeah, like they are nice. And I love that.
They yes.
Yeah, I will say that like with this wedding, I don't know if there's anything super groundbreaking about anything that they did. I don't know if they necessarily set any trends, but
no.
Everything that they did well. It's beautiful.
And one of the things that I love and like what I remembered from this one that like stuck with me is I think she has little butterflies on her veil.
Yep.
And just the way that it's like her veil, but also like a shawl type of thing. I'm just the way that it lays in all of these pictures when she walks is,
and she looks like a butterfly beautiful. In this image, Caroline. She's
I didn't even make it there yet. Oh yeah,
that's like a thing. I think that like that's very purposeful. That's great.
It's just when she and that picture number 27. When she's like walking but it looks back and the way it's like sitting then is also incredible. But yeah, you're right. Nothing groundbreaking here. Just beautiful, gorgeous. If you want some inspo, definitely come here and we would love to be your friends.
I think she has a different dress for the reception.
Maybe I don't even remember.
No, I guess not. I think I'm just getting like
the one thing I remember from the reception, I know they have butterflies on their cake. I don't know why that also stuck with me.
They did change butterflies later on, Caroline. And now he is in black velvet and she is in like
in the last
more
few
of a
pictures.
slip dress with sneakers.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love outfit changes throughout.
Okay. Yeah, guys, milk the wedding attire for what it's worth. Get into it.
100%.
Gosh, these pictures of them walking even in the street of New York.
They're so cool.
So they got married at the New York Public Library. I love this venue. It is so regal, so cool. It just, I mean, and I want to stress that like choosing the venue can really make or break the vibe, the overall aesthetic, the feel, and having an incredible venue can take your wedding so far. Like I think a huge draw for me is just the attire in the atmosphere. Like, you would not get the same feel at any old venue. There's huge ceilings, the archways, the staircases. I can't get over it. It is so beautiful. It is giving Bridgerton to me. I'm especially if you get to 34, all of the photos that have really captured my heart from this specific venue are the candles and the flowers that they do all over the stairs, and they keep this aisleway open on the stairs, and the photos there. I wish I could be there to walk up these stairs when it's decorated.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And that isn't to say that you have to get married once again, in this exact venue or any of these exact venues that we're talking about in order to achieve that look. But it is important that if you want a certain feeling, vibe, whatever for your wedding, we've talked about this before. Picking your venue is one of those first steps in your planning stages. So pick it carefully and know that, like, that's the backdrop. And if you pick a venue that has the look and feel like of exactly what you're looking for, you'll need to decorate a lot less. You'll probably need less florals, which are very expensive, to just like achieve the look that you're going for.
Yeah.
It's so, so important.
The last thing I want to say on this one is scroll down to their like last outfit.
Yep.
I think the first part of this gallery and the last part of this gallery are so cool. The way that they were seamlessly able to transition from regal elegance to this like fun, flirty,
like city chick.
I love it.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
So great.
Like all people, we are just suckers for what are the celebrities doing? What do they do with their time in their life and their weddings? So it's fun to talk through a lot of these weddings for different details. But I think the things that I really walk away with is attire is super important. Your venue is super important. And honestly, florals can make your wedding look very luxury, and the lack of florals can go the opposite directions, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what Caroline said, like you said it great. These kinds of these celebrity weddings inspire us so much. I think it's so cool to see. Like, we've really looked back over the last couple of years with these ones, and you can like kind of pinpoint where some of the trends came from. Like, some of these weddings are very trend setting, and that is super cool to see. But yes, choose your venue wisely. And as you're planning, if you want to have some sort of theme or you want to emulate the same feeling as any of these celebrity weddings or something else, figure that out early on and make sure that the details that you're choosing fit into that mold. Yeah, and I think that's going to help you if you want to emulate those things on a lower budget. Because I think that if you have one of the budgets that these celebrity weddings had, you're probably not listening to our podcast about planning. Like, it's just not, probably not for you.
True. There's a lot you can do without having that budget. I think you do have to kind of almost study the weddings that you really like, pick out those pieces and rethink how you can do them. I think another thing that we didn't touch on in this episode that we could talk about in a future episode is royal weddings, how much they have set the tone for weddings in general, how much like they affect culture, which is so interesting. But I'm gonna leave it there because we've already talked a lot today. But if you want to hear that in a future episode, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And thanks so much for listening to us again today. This was really fun. I always say this was really fun, but it was.
It always is.
It always is. Celebrity weddings is definitely a special one. But if you want to hear more from us, you can find more on our website, theguidegalspodcast.com, where you can find our full episode library along with a lot of free resources as well. You can watch us on YouTube. We would highly suggest watching this one on YouTube. It's far too late if you haven't already. If you listen to the whole thing audio, I doubt you're going to go back. But you can find video content, video versions of all of our episodes on the Here Comes the Guide YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram at The Guide Gals Podcast and on TikTok at The Guide Gals Pod. So yeah, that's where you can find us. But yes, until next time.
Cheers! I finished my drink.